G'day golfers. Well, today we're going to study the big loopy draw. We've had quite a few clients this week, good golfers, A-graders, who struggle with that getting out of hand, turning into a hook. And these players really struggle to hit the straight shot and especially the fade. Can't hit the fade very consistently. So we're going to study why that happens and what we can do to fix it. Welcome to Aussie Golf Pres. Now we do see this shot a lot with A-graders. They've learnt how to draw the golf ball, but they're not really doing it consistently, and so we can get some really funny ball flights. Big loopy draw, we can get a lot of mishits, drop kicks through the shot and some thin shots. Can lose it out, high block to the right-hand side for a right-hander, but the typical shot is just to overcook it. That draw gets bigger and bigger, it turns into a bit of a hook and gets out of hand, especially under pressure. So if this is you, you've got to learn why that's happening and how we can fix it. So let's demonstrate that shot. Big loopy draw. That's a typical example. Hit the ground first. It's hooked, it's out of play, and it really does cost us a lot of shots out in the golf course. Now obviously that doesn't happen every time. The A-grader is going to control that shot and maybe aim further right and do their best to hit as many greens as possible. But we're not producing a lot of spin, we're not producing a lot of control over the flight of the golf ball, and we can't hit the fade. So the reason that's happening is obviously the club is swinging from in to out quite a lot through impact. And a lot of players are aware of that, but they're not really sure how to correct it. And what a lot of golfers try to do if they're trying to hit that fade or that straight shot is they pick the club up steeper and they try to trap it, getting out to in through impact. It feels like they're hitting this fade, but it's still a little draw, and quite often they double cross themselves. They'll start at left of the target and it'll stay there, or they'll just leave the face way open. It's too inconsistent, because what's happening is we're actually getting the follow through after impact into a less than ideal position. That player that hits the big loopy draw gets the club going away from them after impact, and that's where that inconsistency comes from. So the club gets away here, and you can see there that the club is going to rotate a lot. It's going to flip through impact, and we get this position here, extended, yes, but away from the body too much, off of plane, and the club face is going to rotate very quickly. Very difficult to control. So instead of worrying about what the backswing's doing or what the downswing's doing, I encourage that player that's suffering from the hook and the big loopy draw shot, to focus on what's happening after impact. If we have a look at players like Jason Day, Tiger Woods, even some loopy swings like Vijay Singh, Jim Furyk, Matthew Wolf. When it comes to getting on plane when it matters, through impact, then they really are on that line. If we slow it down, we can see that they really do track that plane both into the golf ball and after impact. And that's the neglected part here. A lot of golfers just neglect what's happening after impact. They're so worried about the backswing and the downswing that really what's important is forgotten. So if you're that player hitting that big hook and that big loopy draw, then get a video out. You want to set up the camera at about waist height and just in line with the top of the golf club through to target there, and track where that club head is traveling. Track where that shaft is traveling. We don't want that shaft and club head out there, the club rotating a lot and being very difficult to control. So what we're after obviously is to get onto plane. We've got to feel like we're swinging around the body more. The club doesn't go out towards the target. We don't want that. We want to come around the body on plane and a much more stable club face. Because when you can do that, then the club face is going to be more stable. It's still going to rotate, but it's not going to flip as aggressively as it has been with that into out throwing type motion that we see with a lot of golfers. So here's a simple little drill that's going to help you to get that feeling of getting around the body a little bit more. We want an external focus of attention. We want to just feel like we're pulling that club around, and we can just use an alignment stick, tour stick, to help us with that. it's not really important where this is because we're actually going to put it into a position that we can't reach. So if I really think about that and try to get around, then I can maybe just clip it, put it into a position where you can't even reach, because I guarantee you, when the golf ball's there, you're not going to get anywhere near it. I'll put it even further away. Nice and safe, can't reach it, but we're going to try to. That's the intention. We're going to see if we can get that club coming around the body more on plane, a much more stable club face, and start with it really slowly. Instantly a little fade, much more stable club face. We slow that down, we can see that the club face doesn't flip through impact. It's on plane, it's shallower through here. Contact's going to improve, you're going to start to compress the ball more easily, rather than this into out motion. Very easy to drop kick and thin shots. And we can get that club face being much more stable through impact as well. Do plenty of shots at that slow speed, that first or second gear. Really take your time, and then build it up a little bit. So again, just trying to hit that little fade, getting that club coming around the body, turning through it. Fraction left of target there, but still getting that club on plane, and the club face is going to be much more stable. And then go up a gear. Take your time. Do 5, do 10 at each gear. You're going to hear a different contact. You're going to start to hit the grass after the golf ball more often. You're going to compress it more easily. And I haven't had to change my backswing. I haven't had to change my downswing. If you can encourage that club to get around your body more, get on plane more, you're going to improve your angle of approach into the golf ball. You're going to improve your plane, and you're going to stabilize that club face. And you're going to be able to shape the ball much more easily, and you're going to be much more consistent with your direction, not just with your irons, but your woods as well. Of course, if you're fading or struggling with a slice, then you don't go anywhere near this drill. You do need to focus on what your backswing and downswing are doing and your approach into the golf ball. If you're slicing the golf ball, then you're probably coming under plane after impact. You're getting swinging too far across. So it's worth noting that you really can adjust what's happening in the downswing with focusing on what's happening after impact. Of course, everyone's different, but I find this very successful with a lot of the A graders that I coach with mainly, and some B graders who tend to draw the ball a little bit too much. And the benefits are many from getting onto plane. You are going to improve the contact. You're going to get the club flatter on the ground, and you're really going to strike the ball much more cleanly if you can get the hang of it. Good luck with that drill and getting the club on plane. And if you are slicing the golf ball, then pop up in the corner here and we can sort that shot out as well. We'll be back next week. Are you the best golfer you can be?